everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Zima, and on today's video we are going to be learning how to cut and sew this free gown with an elastic on the sleeve. It is very easy and also beginners friendly. So if this is something you would like to learn, go ahead and hit on that subscribe button and also turn on your post notification, and let's dive right into the video. So for the sake of this tutorial, I have around 3 yards of an Ankara fabric. Of course, there's also a matching lining for it, so I'll just go ahead now to fold my fabric. I'm going to be cutting the front and the back at the same time, so I'm going to do a fold, and then I will fold it again so that I'll get the back and the front. And after folding, I'll take my tape to check that I have the enough fabric that will be able to go round. And after doing that, I first of all mark a line that indicates the starting line, and I'm just going to go ahead to take my measurement. So from the side that is facing me is the side for this gown. The center front is at the other side. So from the beginning, I mark my shoulder measurement, half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches, and from there I went down to mark my bust point, which is at 11 inches, and then my waist measurement 17 inches, and from the waist measurement I extended it with around 9 inches for the hip. And after doing that, I went down from the shoulder measurement with 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and from the bust point I went up with 2 inches for my chest line. So from the center front, I went in with the width of my neckline with about 3 inches, and then for the length for the back one I did 2.5 inches. For the front I did 6 inches. Then I went ahead to connect with my ruler. After doing that, I connected the shoulder slope to the neckline. Then I measured to get the midpoint from that shoulder slope to the chest line, and then I extended with half an inch on the midpoint. Then I went to take my bust measurement on that chest line. Then I connect with my curve rule from the shoulder slope to the point I have on the chest line. After doing that, I went ahead to take my round measurement. My waist measurement is 44 inches, while my hip measurement is 48 inches. Then after taking the measurement, I went ahead to connect with my curve rule. After that, I moved the fabric forward so that I'll be able to get the full length of this gown, and it's at 42 inches. So since it's a free gown, the same measurement I have on my hip, my round hip, is what I'll have on the length here, because I don't want it to be tight. So I also did the same measurement. Then I connect with my ruler. And after doing that, I went ahead to extend for my sewing allowance and the ease for this gown, and I did 3 inches on all the points. Then after doing that, I connect with my ruler, and the next thing to do is to go ahead to cut with my scissors. First of all, I cut out this part of the fabric that I will not be needing for this, and then I cut the neckline for the back together with the front. Then I pull it up to cut for the front alone, and every other part will be cut the same. You will notice that after the place I mark as where this gown is going to be stopping, that I still have around 2 inches above it. That is where I'm going to be sewing the lining on, because I don't want the lining to show in any way. Then after that, I trim the zipper allowance, that is for the back. And after that, on the waistline, I went in with around half an inch. Then I connect it down and up in order to eliminate our zip from bulging. After then, I trim it out and we are done cutting this gown. The next I'm going to do now is to go ahead to cut the lining. It's going to be a full lining, and here I'm done cutting it already. So what I'm just going to do now is to start sewing it, and I'm going to be starting that from the neckline. I'm just going to go ahead to place the lining and the main material together like this, right side facing each other, and I'm going to first of all go ahead to pin it with my pin. And after pinning, I'll head over to the sewing machine to sew it following this pin that I did already. I'm going to sew it this way from the neckline, then I'll join it also at this down part, and after joining it here, I'll go ahead also to sew the sides. And this is the way it's looking when I was done sewing it. I'm just going to go ahead now. You can see how beautiful it's already turning. I'm go ahead to turn it over to the right side, and I'm going to give it a very good press so that all the edges will be pointed out. You can see I sewed both for the front and the two back side. I'm just going to go ahead to iron everything out. Then after ironing, I'm going to join the two back sides together, so I'll go and hold it from following the zipper allowance I left earlier. But before doing that, I'm first of all going to hold it with my pin. You know, as a tailor, you have to be working with your pin in whatever you're sewing, so that you have a very good station. And this is how it's looking when I was done joining the zipper allowance. Then I'm also going to go ahead to iron it out. Then after ironing, I'm going to mark the dart, so I'll go ahead to sew it. So from the shoulder line, I went down with 17 inches, which is my waist measurement, and from that place I went up with 4 inches, then I went down with 5 inches for the dart. So from that waistline, I went out with half inch on both sides, and then I connect it to the lines I have on the upper side and on the downside. This is just the perfect way to get your dart. And since this is not a princess cut, I'm going to be adding, there is going to be that also on the front. So whatever I'm doing on this back side, I'm also going to replicate it on the front side. Then after doing that, I'm going to head over to the sewing machine to sew it. And this is the way it has turned out. This one is the front side and this is the back side. So the next thing I'm going to do from here now is to join this gown from the shoulder, and you can do that by placing them together this way, and you're going to cover it with the lining of the back side, just the way I'm doing it. Then after doing that on this side, I'm going to hold it with my pin, and then I'll sew. and this is the way it has turned out after joining the shoulder. You can see how neat it's looking. So the next thing I'm going to do from here now is to join this side, but before doing that I'm going to take my measurement starting from the bust to the waist and to the hip. Then after doing that, I'm going to connect each of the lines with my curve ruler, and then I'll hold with my office pin before proceeding to go sew it on the sewing machine. And then I'm just going to go ahead to connect all the lines with my curve rule, starting from the hem of this skirt to the hip, then to the waist, and finally to the bust point. And after rolling, I'm going to hold it down with my office pin. Remember, as a tailor, you're going to be working with your office pin almost all the time, because it will make it even very easier for you to sew, because you won't be fighting or dragging with your fabric whenever you want to sew. Then after doing that, I head over to the sewing machine to sew it, and this is the way it's really looking. So I'm just going to go ahead to flip it over to the right side. So the next thing I'm going to do from here now is to attach my zipper. And for how to attach the zipper, I already have a tutorial on how to attach a zipper, be whether it is on your gown or your skirt or anything that you have to, as long as you're sewing it, it's basically the same way. If you follow the tutorial, you get the perfect way to attach your zipper. And after pinning the zip, I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to attach it. Then from this place now, after attaching the zipper, the next thing I'm going to do is to work on the sleeve. And to do that, I already mentioned from the beginning of this video that the sleeve is going to be coming with an elastic. So the length I'm going to be working with for this sleeve is 14 inches. And from the beginning of this sleeve, I'm going to go down with around 4 inches so that I will be able to curve it well. I'm just going to use my free hand to do that. And then the width is 12 inches. And from that beginning there, I'm just going to curve it down to this other side of the sleeve. And after doing that, I'm going to trim it out with my scissors, and then I'll head over to my sewing machine to sew. And yes, we have finally come to the end of this tutorial. You can see how beautiful and clean this gown is already looking. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, on if there is any particular thing you'd like me to share next. I'll be waiting for your response. Thank you so very much for watching this video to this very end. Please do not forget to hit on that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when next I post a video. And I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.